Hey everybody, I just started a recording. Hey, always so happy when I see your faces in lives. I'm just gonna take my shoes off because I'm warm and I'm so excited for everything that is going on right now in the business and all my amazing clients that are just having phenomenal what is the word? Phenomenal results. Really great results. That's what I'm trying to say. So, the topic for today is what life can look like as a master manifestor coach. So, who's excited for that? I'm really excited for that. Sophia is also excited for that. Amazing. Wonderful. I will be super structured. So, I wrote down some notes. So, I'm going to walk you through what is a master manifestor coach for, first of all. Why would you want to become one? What is the difference between a master manifestor coach and like what a master manifestor coach can actually do? What is the difference between that and, for example, a life coach or like whatever else coach? And then what is the difference in the program in itself between doing this program that trains women, highly sensitive and empathic, intuitive women to become master manifestor coaches? What is the difference between this program and other program? So we will be walking through that, and then we will be walking through in the end. Hey, Hannah. Then in the end, we will also go through like, what does the life look like when you are a master manifestor coach? Does this sound like a good agenda that I just went through? Perfect, amazing. So, what is a master manifestor coach? This is such a good question. A master manifestor coach is somebody who have gone through my program, Master Manifestor. Like the whole Master Manifestor program, it came about when I lived in Bali, because as you have heard, most of you have heard that I used to feel so stuck in my life, and I was testing all of these different things to set myself free. Network marketing, looked into affiliate marketing and all these different kind of methods that could help a person to set them free. But I realized like none of that was for me. I was really meant to help people and to make the world a better place. So I came into the world of hypnotherapy, and I started to realize what a massive, powerful machine our subconscious mind is. And very soon after I started to learn how to work with my own subconscious mind and also help clients, I set myself free. I became free. I really became free. I moved to Bali and I lived my absolute dream life. And in Bali, I started to get all these awesome insights like, Linda, you got to film this insight. So I started to just trust all the guidance, because this is also the time where I start to be able to channel information. So I did film everything that came through, and that turned out like all the videos that I like, the channel information, like everything, and like how to work with your own subconscious mind, how to talk to your subconscious mind to actually make it work for you, and how to work with your subconscious mind so that it actually helps the whole law of attraction to work for you instead of against you. Because most of our subconscious mind, they are wired to push the whole law of attraction away. If anybody ever try to manifest anything, you know probably that it can be quite hard, because the whole law of attraction seemed to be working against us, or that's at least how I felt when I first heard about law of attraction. I was like, if I could think myself into a result, I would not live the life I was living, because I was very unhappy in the life I was living. I was feeling completely stuck, and all I wanted was to travel, was to be free, set my own hours, make as much money as I wanted, and I was broke and I was stuck. So I was like, I would not have created this life. But then I realized that actually my thoughts, because all I was thinking about was the boat that I wanted to have. All I was thinking about was the travels. That didn't happen. So I started to understand. I was like, I have not created this. But then when I started to understand we have a subconscious mind, I realized that I had created everything that I was living. I just had not created consciously. So when I later on really was living my dream life, I was like, I really want to teach this to other people. This is so powerful. And I really saw that so many other people, especially women, could use the techniques that I had learned throughout the years to really start to set themselves free. So that became the Master Manifestor program. And then I had so many women coming into my program, going through the Master Manifestor program, and they realized that they also wanted to start to teach other women how to live better lives. So they were like, oh, I'm going to become a coach, or I'm going to become a therapist. So then they started, because of everything they learned throughout my program and everything we did with their subconscious mind, they were like, I'm going to go somewhere and see if I can become a coach somewhere. And that really triggered me to understand, like, hey, I have all these amazing tools and I've come up with my own hypnosis technique. So maybe, like, today I know I can, but the first thought was like, maybe I can actually teach this myself. Maybe I can teach my clients to work with the subconscious mind. So not only to better their own lives, but to actually take on clients. And this is how the whole Master Manifestor coach came to be. So instead of women having to take another course in hypnosis or another course in coaching or another, like, going somewhere else and do a training of like 6 months, or sometimes it takes like 2 years to do a training, which is like, what, in my opinion. So I was like, okay, but why don't I just have my amazing clients to go through the whole Master Manifestor program, like they are becoming Master Manifestors themselves, to really become a Master Manifestor, like know how to truly manifest a life that makes you really, really, really happy. And then using all of those techniques in order to start to help other people online. So within the program, within the Master Manifestor program, you can become a Master Manifestor coach within 90 days and actually have your first paid online client within 90 days. How does that sound? Does it sound amazing? Yay! Sophia is the only person that I see. You other people, you have your cameras off, so I don't see your faces, but I hope that you are as excited as I am. Because in how I teach this, one issue that I saw with so many coaches, especially spiritual coaches, especially coaches that wanted to transform people's lives, they had so much trouble in charging for their services. If they were charging at all, they were charging super low amount. I have had people coming into my free Facebook group called Escape the Rat Race with a Purposeful Laptop Lifestyle, that you are probably all in. And I've had clients coming in, or not clients, I have had women coming in there. And especially one woman, she was telling me that she is really good at like spiritual stuff. Like she can read people's energy and she can do different things. But then she said to me, she was like, nobody want to buy my service. And I was like, and she also said like, oh, they all think it's too expensive, my service. And I was like, what do you charge? And she was like, well, I'm charging 400 SEK for a session. And people think it's too expensive. Do you want to know how much I charge for a session? I charge 10,000 SEK for one session. And people are buying it. And people are super happy that they bought it because they get transformational results. When I saw that so many people were struggling to pay for their services, it created a pain in me. And I realized that one of the most important things that we are working on as we are becoming coaches, as we are becoming therapists, as we are moving on and transitioning ourselves from being stuck in a traditional job to actually start to work with clients, we need to upgrade that money mindset. We cannot have the old beliefs that I can't charge for my service, because we're never going to survive as a coach. Does that make sense? We need to understand, how do we actually charge, and how do we charge good money? So a Master Manifestor coach that goes through my program, she, because I'm only taking on women, so I'm going to say she, at this point at least. So a woman that is going through my program, becoming a Master Manifestor coach, she's charging a good amount for her service. I always recommend start with 2,000 SEK per session and then work yourself up. But that's the minimum. That's where we are starting for one session. And this is really inspiring because Sophia, like for you guys, you probably can't see who it is I'm talking to, but she is here with me, with us live right now. Like, she's walking this. She is one of my amazing clients, and she's walking this, and she's starting to take on clients, and she's starting to charge for her services. And it is just amazing to see. And I'm so proud. It's like, I'm this mommy, like, I don't have physical kids. I have spirit kids, spirit babies that are gonna come in later on. But like, my clients feel like my babies, and I'm so proud. Like, they're taking steps, and I'm like, oh my goodness, my client just did this. And it feels so incredible, because I see the transformation that my clients are going through, and now they're starting to help other people to have transformation in their lives as well. And that is just incredible. So I'm super, super proud. So this is also the thing with other techniques that people are like, from what I've heard, so many people are going to different trainings. Many different trainings, they take a lot of time. And I believe in rapid results. I want fast results. I don't believe that we should spend like 2 or 3 years in doing a training and then eventually become something. I believe in fast results. I believe that we are here. Like, we need to speed things up. And this is why my program is 3 months. And then you have your first paid client within those 3 months. So you're learning all the techniques, you're shifting your own life, which is like, this is a big transformation that people are going through, the program, which is incredible. But this is the thing. It is rapid, it is fast. And what was one of the questions that I had? Like, what is the difference between this program? Like, when people are learning these techniques that I'm teaching within the program, when they're becoming a mastermind coach, the results that they're having for their clients is rapid. Who wants fast results for yourself and for your clients if you ever choose to become a therapist? Do you want people to have results, Hannah? Amazing. Sophia, amazing. Because you wouldn't believe, there are so many people that I'm talking to, and they're like, I have done a hypnosis training, and it takes for years to change somebody's belief system. And I have a friend, he says that, oh, it takes so much time to shift beliefs. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Like, we can do it like that. This is the thing with the program. So before I started to understand that I would actually teach you all to become, or the people on the program, before I realized I would actually teach my women to actually become coaches and therapists themselves, and to really have their paid clients coming in and really teaching them the whole system of how do you actually market your service so that you're a high standard coach. The whole promise, like, just for not, the whole promise with the course was that you would find your true purpose in life. And the program was 3 months. But do you know how long time it took for people to find their purpose? It took 90 minutes. The program was 3 months and it took 90 minutes. So I was like, okay, I'm going to speed things up that I can teach you so much more. Because I was like, if it just takes 90 minutes to find your purpose, which you're doing in the beginning of the program, and you really see like, okay, my soul has come here to planet Earth to do this specific thing. And then my clients also get to see like, what gifts has their soul actually arrived to Earth with. If that was so fast, then I was like, let's just teach them the rest of the stuff as well. And this is why, for those of you who are watching this training right now in the end of November, keep your eyes open next week in the Facebook group. So if you're watching this in December, this has already passed. But if you are watching this in November, keep your eyes super open in the group next week. Just saying that. Alrighty. So how we answer the questions like, what is Master Manifestor Coach? Why would you want to become one? No, I didn't say, why would you want to become one? Well, you would want to become a Master Manifestor Coach if you feel like you want to have a good impact on this world. If you want to help people to live better lives. If you want to have the freedom to work from anywhere you want. If you don't want to have a boss, but you want to work for yourself. And you want your people, your clients, your future clients to have freaking amazing results. You want to open up your phone in the middle of the day, because I promote to not open up your phone in the morning. So I was going to say, like, you want to open up your phone in the morning, but I promote to not open up your phone in the morning. But when you're opening up your phone later on in the day after your morning routine, what would it feel like to receive messages saying like, you transformed my life? That is incredible. I received a message today. I'm going to see if I can read parts of this message. Okay. So, because I opened up yesterday when we had a live training, within the Master Manifestor program, which we do every week. And then I opened up about a fear that had arisen within me on Tuesday. So yesterday was Wednesday, and on Tuesday I had this massive fear coming up from my own subconscious mind. It was something that wasn't healed yet. I didn't know that it was there. So I was glad that it showed up so that I could heal it. This is also the thing, like it was there for a few hours, then I healed it, and then everything was fine. So I shared this on Wednesday, yesterday in my group when we had that call, and I said like, oh, a fear came up that people in the program, what if they hate me? What if they think that everything in my program is just trash? Like I shared that this fear came up because I also want to show like, I have also stuff that is coming up. Having fear is normal. And this is what like, I think has been my advantage, that I've always been open enough and willing to learn how to be authentic. People seem to love that. And I always, because it creates connection. And this is something that I always teach my clients as well, to be authentic, to be open, to be willing to share what are the fears that are coming up and everything like this. And then this morning, sorry, this is from a woman who is on my program. So she sent me this today. She said, Linda, I just wanted to tell you something. Don't ever think that your program is trash. You are helping a lot of women to find their true purpose and make them feel special, so special in this world. You are so good at what you do. Remember that. When you speak, it flows like water, and you have a calmness inside your voice. It is so soothing. And you have so much positive energy around you. When we turn to you, we look at you as a leader. Think of it as a leader of, okay, so this was a bit, you are guiding us, you're helping us, you show us the way, and you put all this magic inside of each one, and you put all this magical in your program. Lots of love to you. You're an angel. What would it feel like to receive messages like this? It feels incredible. And this is why you want to become a Master Manifestor coach. If you want to make, Sophia, you agree. Thank you so much. If you really want to feel that you're building your own tribe with women or men or people in general, with people who truly understand you, who truly respect you for who you are. I'm just a normal person. I'm nothing different or extraordinary. I have dyslexia, and sometimes I go through, like when I'm going to post something in the group, and I go through it and I put it into ChatGPT, which is my perfect AI friend, and then I put it into Google, and then I put it in all these different places, and I'll say, can you please spell check this for me? And then think they have done the job good, and then I think it's fine, and then I post it, and then then my coach says something, or then Jonas, my amazing boyfriend, says something, and they're like, what did he mean with this word? I'm like, oh my goodness, is there a spelling error again? And I had just been running it through all these different programs thinking that it was good, because I don't see the spelling errors. And sometimes it can turn out amazingly funny and I can laugh about it. But sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, again, but this is the thing. With all of this, I have become this incredible coach, and apparently I'm helping so many people in this world. And this is what I want for you as well. This is what it actually feels like to be respected for who you are. And I find that every time I tell people that I have dyslexia, people are like, oh my goodness, I also have dyslexia. If you can do this and you have dyslexia, maybe I can do this. And this is the thing with connection as well. The more we are showing up with our full spectrum of things, the more people can actually connect with us. And I so much believe that each one of us, we are here on planet Earth to show up as the fullest version of ourselves, because we have a specific tribe on this planet who are looking for our help. There are people out there just waiting for Hannah to show up in this world. There are people out there looking for Sophia to show up. There are people out there looking for Anki to show up. There are people out there looking for Hania to show up. Like each one of us, we have a unique tribe. You may not know about these people yet, but they are just waiting for you to step into your fullest power if you feel that this message resonates. So this is not for everybody, but this is for the ones who feel like it really resonates. For those of you who feel that something is happening in your heart when I'm speaking about this, you have a tribe and they're just waiting for you. They are waiting for you to step into your fullest power, to your fullest potential, to let go of the fears that have been holding you small, because you're not supposed to be small. You are supposed to be big in this world, in the form of energy. You are supposed to be really, really big. You're supposed to be massive and show yourself, to show up and to really lead your own tribe of people. And that is what you can do as a Master Manifestor coach. How does that sound? Sounds good? Amazing. All right. So I was thinking, I was like, okay, so what does the life look like as a Master Manifestor coach? And then I was just starting to smile so much because life looks amazing. Whenever people are saying that, well, the biggest part of life is a struggle and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't agree with that at all. I believe and I feel that most days are amazing. That's how it feels to be a Master Manifestor coach after you have done your own healing. Because when you're doing your own healing, as we're doing it through the program, shit is going to come up. So then you may not feel so good. But after, when you're out on the other side, like this is also the big difference when you were. So when I did my first training in hypnotherapy, a technique called rapid transformation therapy, I did that back in 2016. And then I've taken a lot of different trainings. But the thing is, with so many different trainings, they teach us a technique. You basically become something like, oh, I became an RTT therapist. And different people like, oh, that person became a life coach or whatever. So it's basically a training that you go through. But many of these trainings, they leave us with a diploma. And then we're supposed to go out and figure it out on ourselves. The real job actually starts after we become the therapist or the coach. Why? Because then it's up to us to start to understand, how do I show up in this world? How do I attract clients? And this is where all the fears are kicking in. The fear that maybe I'm not good enough. It may be like it may be dangerous for me to show up, because many of us, as I talked about before in the Facebook group, many of us are dealing with something called the witch wound. Many of us, if you believe in incarnation, we have been here on planet Earth before and we were treated like shit. We were being killed for our gifts. And all of that now, when we are here on planet Earth to actually show up with our gifts, it's being triggered. This fear of being burned, this fear of being drowned, like all the different ways we have been killed before, it's being triggered now when we are going to show up as a coach or as a therapist. And this is the big difference. When you're going through the Master Manifestor program, we are healing this within the program. So that when you're ready to have your first paid client, you have worked through so much trauma in yourself and you have really stepped into this awesome version of yourself, the true version of yourself that have healed the trauma, so that you can feel safe in actually showing up. So this is a really transformative process in becoming a Master Manifestor and then becoming a Master Manifestor coach for those of you who choose to start to help other people. So what are the questions? So if you would ask me anything like, what does the real life look like? Because for me, it's just like, it looks like freedom. It looks like freedom. I decide however I want to have my day. I decide what time I want to get up. I decide what time I want to go to bed. I decide how many hours I work. I decide how I create my programs. I'm the boss of my own life. That's what it looks like, basically. So what will your questions be? I see that you're thinking. The thing is, as you're thinking, that when we have come to that place where we have actually replaced our income from the normal job, then we can work from anywhere. I have been on the beaches, working from the beaches in Bali and in Thailand, which is incredible. That feeling is just amazing. Right now, both Jonas and I feel that Sweden is the place for us. Right now, we are putting in many hours per day into creating both our different programs. We have different businesses. Amazing question, Hannah. So I'll very soon answer that. Right now we are in Sweden, and we have this like awesome routine. We go to the gym in the morning, and then we go home and we get changed into like our normal clothes, and then we go to our co-working space, and we're sitting here working for several hours a day because time is just flying so fast because we're having so much fun. Today I was just creating like a slideshow. It was super funny. I'm gonna send it to Sophia in a very short moment. As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna send it to her so she will test it out. So it's a slideshow like teaching my clients how to do their first master manifestor hypnosis session. And it was so funny. Like when I was making that, I was laughing because like I'm being all creative and just putting like little figures into my slideshow and stuff like that. So this is the thing, like when you're having your own business, you can do whatever you want, and you do it from a place of creativity. So yeah, okay, so super good question. So the question is, how long time did it take for me before I could live from this and quit my normal job? So my story is a bit different than many other people's stories in the way that I have kind of never ever had a job. I started as a journalist, and I figured very, very soon that that wasn't for me. And then, so I worked only for a few months. Okay, amazing, good question as well. So I worked just a few months, and then I met my ex-husband, who was an ice hockey player. So I was like, and he lived in Luleå and I lived in Stockholm. So I was like, I can go and live with him. So I very soon became a hockey wife. And I started to like travel with him and everything like that. But I felt super, super stuck because I didn't have my own money. But not having my own money seemed to actually be better than working for a boss, because every time I worked for a boss, I just felt so trapped. So that was horrible. So it kind of felt better, I guess, to live with him in Luleå. And then we moved to different places. And then we moved to, like, we have been moving so much. First, we moved with ice hockey to Uppsala, and then we moved to Gothenburg, and then we moved to Italy, and then we moved to Norway, and then we moved back to Luleå. And back in Luleå, I started to work in like small shops because I was like, okay, I really want my own money. So I just had a little bit of money to kind of pay for half the rent and stuff like that. I'm glad I've learned so much about relationships and finances nowadays. So if I would go back and help the old self, I would have done things very differently, because I really left that relationship with no money. And he obviously was able to build like his pension and everything while we were doing all of this, because it was his income, and I just left with nothing. But anyway, my calculation was, so the reason why I realized I was in the wrong relationship and wrong life and everything, it was because I took my training and I started to work with my subconscious mind. And then I realized, I was like, I'm not supposed to be in this life. And then I just calculated. So back then I took 2,000 SEK for a session. And then I just calculated, because I found an apartment in Stockholm that was very cheap. It was like 6,000, or no, 4,500 a month, which is really, really, really cheap. So I calculated, okay, if that is the rent, and then I'm going to pay for some food, I calculated like if I can have 4 clients a month, I will be able to survive. So that was my base level. I just wanted to survive, and I just wanted to make sure that my business could support me, so I did not have to go and work for a boss. That was my only focus. So that was my baseline. So I guess for most people, they would not start in that end. Like when my clients are having a job already, when they're finding my work, I always suggest like stay in your job and have that stability of income while you are building your business up. Because for me, it was stressful. It was really, really stressful. I was stressed every single month. Like, okay, I have to figure out how to get clients, because I didn't have any experience. And now I have a lot of experience, meaning that the people who are going my program now, I teach them all of this. Like everything I learned the hard way, they are getting that served. Like, here you go. You can use exactly this. Use this script. Do that. Do that. Like, I know all of this stuff now, but I didn't back then. So it was a struggle for me. And I was terrified. And you know what? What I also realized, like, I'll calculate, okay, I need 4 clients a month. Then I can survive. But then when I finally landed in Stockholm and I was like starting to do the calculation again, and I was like, did I even calculate for taxes and for moms, which is like the other taxes that and I was like, oh, freaking shit, I didn't calculate for that. And then I realized like half of the money. So then it didn't take 4 clients anymore. It take 8 because half of the money wasn't my money, but I didn't know that. But I'm glad that I didn't know that, because when I thought I only needed 4 clients to survive, I thought that was doable, and it helped me to be brave enough to actually move. So I just left everything and I really started my new life believing that I needed 4 clients, but in reality, I needed 8 clients. But it really pushed me. It pushed me to put together programs. It pushed me to really do things differently and really, really go out of my comfort zone. So would that be an answer? Okay. And then I asked the universe. I was like, because I was so stressed out about money, I was doing my taxes one night. This is actually a very beautiful story. Okay. I had a client. She found me, I don't know, through my website or somewhere, I don't know. But I remember being on the underground one evening. So I was going home from Stockholm City back to my home. And I opened up my email and I received an email from a woman. She had heard about me on a podcast or somewhere, or she had heard about me from somebody else. And she was like, I really like what you do. And she was like, I've been testing law of attraction. Everything seems to be working against me. And I think that you may be the person for me. So I really remember, like, I felt something special when I read her email. So I took her on as a client and she came home to me. Back then I did, like, if I really felt safe with somebody, I allowed them to come to my apartment and we did sessions in my living room. We don't do that anymore, but we did that back then. So we did sessions in my living room. And when this woman left my home that night, I was like, I'm super grateful that we had an amazing session. Her life is transformed forever. I knew that, but I felt super stressed because I was going to do my accounting that night and I was in tears. Like, there were receipts everywhere and I was doing my accounting and I was like totally freaking out. And this is the night where I really sat down and I begged the universe. I was like, please help me. Please help me to understand how I can make more money from my business. Then I think it was just a few hours later, I receiving a message from the client who was just in my apartment that same day. And she was like, Linda, I think your service is so amazing. Are you by any chance, like, are you looking for more clients? Because if you're looking for more clients, I would love to market your service. So I was like, this is universe really delivering. So I said to her, yeah, I would be super open to that. And she said, well, can we meet at this hotel cafe on Saturday? I went to the cafe on Saturday. We sat down and we started to write. And she had a big email list of people. And she was like, she was going to promote my service and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden in walks a guy. So this is how it feels, like Jonas just walked into my life. So a guy walks in and apparently he knew my friend or my client. And so he sat down with our table and then his friend also came. And then I figured out, like, apparently they normally work there, all people from her co-working space. So this guy, Jonas, he was in her co-working space and normally they were all meeting up in this hotel on Saturdays. And this was the reason why he came there. The interesting thing with Jonas was that he was very curious. Like back in this was 2017. back in 2017, I felt that many people were not so open to hypnosis, like especially men. If I said to them like, oh, I'm working with hypnosis, many men were like, oh, that's a bit weird, but okay. But Jonas, he were like, oh, that's very interesting. How does it work? So I could really, you know, when you feel somebody's energy and they're just interested and they're curious. So I was like, something is different with this guy. And then when my friend, the woman who I was there with, she was like, I really have to go. I'm going to a party tonight. And I was like, okay, I wonder what's going to happen now. So I was like, I'm just going to sit here and stay here and working. So, and I looked at Jonas and I was like, I wonder what he's going to do. So he was like, I'm just going to sit here and work. And his friend also took off. His friend was like, oh, this is so boring. Can we go somewhere else? And Jonas were like, no, I'm just going to stay here. And this is actually how our Jonas and my love story started. So Jonas went to the bathroom and then he came back. And when he came back, so instead of going back to his place on the opposite side of the table, he actually sat down next to me. And he was like, what did you say about your business again? What was it that you needed help with? So he was this like marketing guru person. Like he was great at internet marketing. And he started to ask me questions about my business. And he was like, have you ever thought about this? You can do things this way. And I was like, holy crap, like this guy is the answer to my prayers. Like the universe really sent him into my life. And I just thought it was awesome because this was the first person I ever met who knew online business. And he had his own online business and he was already making a lot of money. So Jonas and I started to date, and he helped me to put stuff in place in my online business. And very soon my income went up a lot. So I went from making from about like 10,000 a month till then a few months later, I had 2 months where I made 250,000 within 2 months. And I was like, okay, this is absolutely amazing. And that's after that when we moved to Thailand. So that's really how the money story started for me. And I just want to avoid anybody of my clients to have the money stress that I had in the beginning. So this is why I often encourage my clients while we always have a conversation. If they are like, oh, I really feel like I need to quit my job right now. Of course, we have a conversation. But I encourage people to stay with your income until you start to feel safe in your business if you don't have already like a lot of money as a buffet so that you can feel safe. But the promise of the program or the guarantee of the program is to have your first paid online client within 90 days, or otherwise I'm going to work with the person for free until she does. So because of everything that I have learned throughout my journey, I'm able to help my clients through this process now, which is amazing. And this is the stuff, the teachings that I wish that, like, would I have had the version of Linda that I am today, would I have had her like 6 years ago or 7 years ago? I would have been so grateful, because then it wouldn't have taken me all this time and all this struggle to trying to figure everything out myself. So everything of that is just served on a plate in the program so that you actually can have your first online client. What is the hardest part or the worst part with living and working as you do? Good question. I would say nothing. Like for me, honestly, nothing. The only thing is that I know, like I've learned now that this lifestyle does not fit everybody. I thought like, of course, everybody want to be a freedom coach and work from anywhere. But then I started to realize not everybody is actually suited for that. There are certain people that would prefer, and they are more suitable to actually go and work for somebody else. This is why, so for example, Jonas, before now he is helping online coaches to make more money, to have more clients coming in every month. But before he had that company, he had a fitness company where he was helping women over 50 to have sustainable weight loss. And he hired other coaches to help the clients. So Jonas were like the top of the company, the boss or the owner, and then he hired coaches who were really, really good at what they were doing. They just love to help people. But they didn't like the whole thing about like bringing in clients and showing up on camera. So for them, it was perfect to go and work for somebody else. So I would say, like, depending on what personality people are having, it's probably going to come down to that. But for me, I'm a driven person and I prioritize freedom so high. So for me, there are no downsides. But if you would ask somebody else who is more like, I don't really want to show up, I just want like the safety, then probably like to have the skills and to go and work for somebody else would probably be a better idea, is my guess. So Sophia, you ask, you were saying like you can, is this when you're working with clients, Sophia? Your question. Okay, so you said like when you're working with clients, so Sophia is already my client who is now helping clients, which is amazing. So you're saying that when you're working with clients, you can go on for some hours and then you get, you feel that you get a bit drained. And I would say like this is super normal because we are very sensitive people. And for me, having client meetings, which I don't really have that often now, this is also the cool part. Like whenever we grow and we learn our audience, we learn what our people need, then we can create online programs. But that comes later on. But this is how I've done it now. So I don't really have many client meetings anymore, which suits me perfectly. Like I have put together everything in a program so that I can really help my women to go through a specific process, because I know like everyone that is coming to my work, they're going to need a specific process. But this comes later on in the process, of course. Like first of all, we need to start to work with clients to understand what clients do I like to be working with. But it's all about figuring out like what works for your own energy. And this, Sophia, is also something that is super, super good to bring up in a group coaching call that we are having on Wednesdays with the Master Manifestor coaching program. That is super, super good question that we can dive a bit deeper into this to really see like what are the different tasks throughout the day that is actually taking energy, so that we can really figure out what is actually working for you, so that you can find something. Because this is the thing, like when we are working for ourselves, we can choose. We don't have to do however anybody else is doing anything. And this is the awesome part, that we want to find something that feels good and amazing for ourselves. Are there any other questions? Because how I would really summarize what life feels like and what it looks like, it is like pure freedom. Almost every day I'm pinching myself and I'm like, this is reality. Like this is reality. And when I said like now both Jonas and I, we are investing several hours a day, but we are like, where did the time go? Because we have so much fun. Like when we are producing material for our clients and future clients, it's just amazingly fun. And it's like when we are waking up in the morning, so I'm going to speak for myself. When I wake up in the morning, I feel so passionate. I'm like, I can't wait to go and do my stuff, because this is what my soul came to earth to do. And then we are having more times where we're like, we are not producing content right now. So then it becomes more a relaxed time. So when you have that freedom, like when you are getting good at working with clients and you are good at charging for your service, life becomes freedom. It really does. I'm going to see what you said. No, this is not a wrong place at all. So you're asking if everybody becomes a coach or similar, or are there people walking other paths? So this is the thing. When I first just had the promise, like find your own purpose, because I always attracted people who wanted freedom. And when I helped them to find their purpose, they always realized, I would say like, over the years, it's only been one single person. She saw herself working more like with engineering and coming up with more like physical stuff that would be good for the planet. And she saw herself because we're also going into the future in the program. So we see ourselves living the life that our soul has planned for us. So she saw herself working together with Elon Musk and creating really, really awesome stuff for this planet. And now when she's not working with Elon Musk at this moment, what I am aware of, but she is working on awesome products. So she moved country. She moved from Switzerland to Denmark, where she saw herself in the future like we did. And she did a physical move there. But now, what do I see about this woman? Now she's showing up on social media. She's starting to promote her own service. So she's also becoming a coach now. So she is doing the engineering work, but she's also becoming a coach. So I saw, like, for me, the people who are drawn to my work and who are drawn to the lifestyle of freedom and who have a big heart, they are, yeah. This is why I also included that the people who are going through the Master Manifestor program, they have the ability to actually become a coach themselves. Because I saw, like, instead of first understanding how to become a master manifestor and then go somewhere else to do a coaching training for 6 months or hypnosis training somewhere else, I'm like, why don't have everything inside the same place? And since I have learned so, like, oh my goodness, I have learned so much about money on my journey. Like, that was one of the big things, that it was so deep within myself that I had all these different blockages around money, and I really needed to work through that. And this is what I can teach all the women that are coming into my program now. This is why my coaches, like my future Master Manifestor coaches, this is why they're going out in the world and they are getting good at charging for their service. They're charging for the amazing transformation that they are really providing for people. Was that an answer to your question? Okay, fantastic. With that said, lovely ladies, it's just incredible, like, how we can go on for like 47 minutes, and I'm just like having so much energy, and it just feels amazing. Like this is what life can really feel like. We had somebody, a new guy, coming into the co-working space this morning, and he was asking us what Jonas and I were doing, and we explained, and he was like, oh my goodness, I see so much passion within both of you when you're explaining what you're doing. He was like, most people, when they say what they're doing, they're like dead face, and like, but he was like, when I look at you too, it's like, I'm getting curious, what is it that you do? Because you're like, there's so much life and energy and passion within you. And this is the thing, the more in alignment I become with my soul, I'm working with my soul connection every single day to stay like aligned. And when I am in full alignment with my soul, what I am, me as a person, soul is here to do, things are flowing and things are amazing and life feels amazing. And I believe that that is how life is supposed to be feeling. And then each one of us, so within the program, you're learning the techniques to become a Master Manifestor coach and therapist. Those are general techniques. So then we need to add personality to it. And the personality comes from the person's own story. So Sophia, for example, she has been through stuff in her life that I have not been through. And Hannah, you have been through stuff in your life that I've not been through, or Sophia has not been through. That makes you unique. So we want to combine, we want to understand how to bring in that uniqueness and the unique gifts that our soul have come to planet Earth with. Combine that with the skills and the techniques to help people. And this is how we create a perfect, beautiful, amazing package for the Master Manifestor coaches. Because each one, they have a different market out there. There's this waiting for each coach to show up. Wonderful. If anybody of you are watching this now in the end of November, make sure that you have your eyes super open in the Escape the Rat Race Facebook group next week. And if you're watching this later on and you feel that like from December and later on, and you feel that the message that you have heard resonates, send me a private message and just say like, hey, can I get more information on how this would work for me, or to understand if I could be the right person, because I'm picky. I'm really picky with whom I'm taking onto a program, as you may already have heard me say, because I want to feel that I believe that this person can actually, like, that the person has the skills. We need the empathy. We need the ability to actually be willing and open, to have a big heart to work with people. And that is what I'm looking for. So Yes, but that's it. I'm sending you all so much love, wishing you an awesome, beautiful day, and I speak to you all later. Bye.